Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson. This is the Sunday paper review. Today we have got just the one paper. I didn't even go out and buy it. They're giving away free in a petrol station, so I grabbed it and we're going to go through that. But before we get into that, I'm going to talk about last night's UFC. Obviously, sat in front of my MMA latest background here. What a card from start to finish. Now, I know most people only want to talk about Conor McGregor being the main event, being the one that's bringing a lot of casual fans to the sport, a lot of new fans to the sport, and I love what he's doing for the sport. But let's go deeper into the card. There were some absolutely fantastic fights. Donald Cerrone, the combination that Donald Cerrone won his fight with against Rick Story was phenomenal. It was movie star shit. It was the sort of stuff you see in a Jason Statham film. Anthony Rumble Johnson. I hope you don't owe that guy money. I hope you don't owe that guy money ever. I hope you never owe that guy 20 quid because he's going to absolutely cave your brain in, isn't he? We thought, and still think that Rumble Johnson can definitely beat. We've seen it with an elite grappler, someone who's just an absolute grind artist with Daniel Cormier, where they just completely smush him and drag him into the latter rounds of a fight. But if he can put his hands on you, then you're in trouble, my friend. And I think it was the only clean punch that he landed of the fight. Right hand, right on the chin of Glover Teixeira. And that's all she wrote. Put him away completely. Pulls his left hand out of the way, or his right hand out of the way with his left hand. Uppercut. Over. Absolutely over. Scary, scary individual. And a proper nice dude as well. And then obviously Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Didn't expect the Thai leg kicks from Conor McGregor. You've never really seen Conor McGregor throw those. Not with the intensity he was throwing him in the first couple of rounds. The intensity he putting him in the first couple of rounds. I don't know if the energy output, because he's not used to doing that, really did him in the latter stages when he did start to tire. He didn't throw as many leg kicks, and that was when Nate was allowed to come into the fight. Nate was able to get him up against the cage, nullify him. I don't know why Nate didn't go for more takedowns. That might have swung it for me. I've seen a lot of people saying it was a bullshit decision and Conor won it because they can have a trilogy and all that lot. I know there's dishonest judging, but do you know what? That could have gone either way for me last night. I wasn't surprised, motherfuckers. I was sitting there thinking, I think Nate's probably edged this because I thought 2 and 4 were pivotal. But if you give them, even if this is the problem, if Conor wins it by this much in those rounds, then he gets that round. Despite the fact that Nate won the third by this much, he's probably still only getting a round. I don't know if they're going to be giving 10-8s out for stuff like that. So that's where it's mad. You can get Conor wins 2 rounds by this, Nate wins 1 of the rounds like this, but they add up to more than this does, and Conor ends up getting the win. I've got no questions about it. I said 2nd and 4th rounds could have gone either way. If you give them to Conor, that's the 3 rounds he needs to win a 5-round fight. So if that's what the way the judges went, then that was the way the judges went. Wasn't shocked, wasn't an upset, wasn't a robbery. It was a very close decision that could easily have gone way for both fighters. It was a great fight. It was a great end to a great card. Cody Garbrandt looking absolutely irresistible, as he has done in all of his outings so far. Now 10-0. I don't know if I want to see him fight Dominic Cruz yet. I want to see them the same way with Wonderboy Thompson, although I do think Wonderboy's a bit more ahead in his career and deserving of a title shot. The UFC was scratching around. Once Jones got popped, once Ronda lost and decided to just disappear off the face of the planet, when Brock came and went again, and they're scratching around for superstars, but they don't promote the likes of Demetrius Johnson, and they could choose to just decide that he's the biggest thing in the world and start sending him to events on behalf of the UFC, sending him to the public events that love to have a UFC fighter at them, and start putting him on all the talk shows like they've done with Ronda and McGregor. And they could choose to elevate this guy's status. They could do that with Wonderboy, and I think they could and should do it with Garbrandt. But let's not derail the hype train by putting him in with someone like Dominic Cruz, who could easily tune him up. And then you've got another problem, is that you're trying to build up someone on the back of a loss. Learn something from boxing for a change, and bring these guys along a little bit slower, just a little bit slower, because you do occasionally see the hype train gets massive, everyone demands a title fight, and then we're scratching around looking for another hero once everyone's blown out again. You can elevate people up around them, and you can have trilogy fights, and you can have the way we had with Iceman and Randy Couture in the mid-2000s. You can have awesome storylines around that, but let's know about these guys. And speaking of storylines, that's one of the things that I want to get into today in the Sunday paper review, really, is the Olympics. This Olympics has absolutely sailed by without me paying attention to it at all. Completely slipped beyond me. I've not watched the football. I haven't watched the athletics. I didn't watch the fucking 100 metres. I've watched absolutely no. I have not sat down to purposely watch any event at this Olympics. I've accidentally switched on and something's been on and I've just kept it on. But I've not gone out of my way to watch one thing this Olympics. And do you know, I think why the reason is behind that? And what pisses me off is the BBC. The BBC couldn't give a flying fuck about 90% of these sports for 3 years and 10 months. And then 2 weeks either side of the Olympics plus the Olympics, it's the greatest thing ever. Why has the BBC put so much money into having 97 different radio stations, but they've never had a sport channel? For me, as a licence payer, that's something that the BBC should put some effort into. You want to make narratives and you want to make storylines that people get invested into. Maybe we'll be more asked about Mo Farah and his amazing achievements if we knew more about him, if we had been on the journey with him, if there was documentaries about all of these guys, if there was exposés, if there was behind the scenes little things about all of these athletes that are at the top of their sport that I could walk past in the street and not fucking know. Why is the BBC not taking it upon themselves, if they love the Olympics the way they do, build a narrative up and build an archive of footage up that you can use and sell to all these different people? Why are they not covering the Crystal Palace racing meets? Why are they not covering all of the little events that build up, the national championships? Why is there not a BBC Sport channel on Freeview that anyone can just tune into? You have to pay a premium for Sky Sport and BT Sports, cool. That's football, that's rugby, that's all the professional sports. Why not use the likes of the athletics? Just look at the Olympics, right, and go, right, all of them Olympic sports, all of these Olympic athletes, all these ones that are getting lottery funding, let's follow them. Let's follow them using BBC. Let's follow them using a BBC Sport channel and replace one of the bullshit channels that we've got. BBC 3, it's just fucking Family Guy repeats. I don't even think it's on anymore, actually. BBC 4, don't even know what it does. BBC Parliament, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There must be multiples more people watch my YouTube channel than watch fucking BBC Parliament, mustn't there? Why is that a channel? For the expense that it costs to air and broadcast that, put a sport channel on and make sure people are watching it, because I'd tune in for that. Loads of people would tune in for that. People who haven't got Sky would tune into a BBC Sport channel for fucking 2 flies crawling up a wall in a race. So make narratives. Let's see Mo Farah in the national trials. Let's see him in the international championships and the world championships, but not just put them on when it's on. Let's build something with them. Let's build a real momentum into having all of these athletes. Look, who gives a flying fuck about diving once every 4 years? But do you know what? If it was on telly more often and people was talking about it, people would get invested and people might even go and watch it. Sport's got a fucking fantastic way of uniting people, of making people spend money, of lifting a nation. Show it. We've got so many top athletes, and people moan that, oh, our boxing's dying because it's all on fucking pay-per-view and you can't get any sort of momentum with any sort of household names anymore because it's not on ITV no more. When it used to be Friday nights and Frank Bruno, or Saturday nights you can go watch Frank Bruno, and Ricky Hatton used to be on Sky Sports 1. He wasn't, all of his fights wasn't on pay-per-view like they are with Amir Khan. So you can't build a relationship with fans, and you can't build a fan base who's like, oh, that fucking kid's on again, he's good, isn't he? Let's fucking get into the mixer with him. Oh, he's fighting in our town soon, let's go and get a fucking ticket. That's how you build fan bases. BBC should have to put a certain amount into sport. Why are they putting it all into absolute bullshit that we don't care about? All of the stupid fucking dancing on ice with a donut fucking programs. Why are we watching that shit? Why not put into real talented motherfuckers that are doing sport that we can get behind then at the Olympics? We've done great at this Olympics considering the size of our nation. But can we have the legacy of that and the London Olympics being that we get a dedicated channel to promote these motherfuckers so they earn more money from sponsorship because more people are asked about them, which means they can do better training and better facilities. And sport's a fucking fantastic way out of shit lives for a lot of fucking kids. Let's put something into BBC fucking sport. It's BBC, sort your fucking necks out. Let's get a BBC sport channel. Let's fuck off one of the bullshit channels that you've got, because there's a lot of them, and just dedicate to BBC sport. Just a 24-hour news channel that focuses on British talent coming through. That is what you're supposed to do as a British Broadcasting Corporation or whatever you're called. Get it done. Rant over. Anyway, also on the back page, Conte's looking to buy Giorgio Chiellini. That's a terrifying prospect, because I think that's all they lack really is a decent centre half. Maybe a forward. If they got Lukaku and Chiellini, That's a tasty prospect, isn't it? Also on the back page, Liverpool have rejected a £700 million bid from a Chinese consortium looking to buy the club. Let's open this motherfucker up. Also quite a bit about Neymar. I haven't seen it. I know that they won on penalties and he cried like a bitch. Did the bolt pose. Loads about the Olympics in here. All these dudes, I have no idea who they are though. Make a narrative for me. Don't just pop them up after 4 years and go, ta-da, get behind this guy. Give me the story. I want to have known 3 years ago. I want to see two people that used to be Olympians. Maybe even Audley Harrison. Give him a job. He can talk. He can't fight, but he can definitely talk. So give him a fucking job on BBC as an ex-Olympian and everyone going, this is a lad that we should be looking at for the next Olympics, 3 years out from the Olympics. And if you keep saying it, every 6 months you see this kid doing some little amateur stuff and you're like, yeah, he's right, that kid's got something. And then eventually, by the time he gets to the Olympics, there's a following for him. There's a momentum behind him. The public are aware of him, and it's not just a shock out of nowhere when he goes and absolutely tears someone's head off. I'm going to keep going back to that, aren't I? I can tell. I'm just going to skip right through the rest of the Olympic stuff. I haven't done a preview. The Snapchat Q&A, I couldn't get done. I went to my mum's to finish off some work before going to the match on Friday. And when I got there, I realised, shit, I've got my phone with me so I can read the snaps. I haven't got my iPad with me so I can't record the snaps. Now what do I do? So I've not been able to do anything. And I think they only last on there for like 24 hours or something, so I can't use them. So we'll have to do another one again this week. So let's touch on United and Southampton then. Mega impressed with Paul Pogba's debut. Mega impressed. I thought it was hilarious that his first touch was so bad. His first touch of the match was so bad. Apart from that, he was an absolute... He had a perfect game, didn't he? He was involved in stuff. He had a few sighters. He's going to score goals this year. I think he'll get double-figure goals this year. I think he'll get 10, 12, 13 goals this year. He's going to get a lot of goals from midfield because he's having shots and he's finding himself in the right areas. Fellaini, again, discipline, positional discipline, really showing up for him because he was sitting in front of the defence. He was doing that midfield sweeper role. He was sitting in there and protecting. There was a couple of times where he come across, stopped an attack before it started. That's a job he can definitely do. The problem with Fellaini is that he was deployed as a second striker, as a number 10. He just fucking gets in the way. To be a number 10, you've got to have incredible feet, you've got to have incredible balance, you've got to have good vision, you've got to have an amazing awareness around you. That's why Paul Scholes was so good off the front man like that as the advanced midfielder, because he's got that excellent first touch that can take him out of trouble, and then he's got the passing ability and the vision to be able to pick a pass like that. So many fantastic number 10s. You don't need a big physical number 10. You don't see many big physical number 10s like that. Fellaini's got the best chest in world football. It's like a bucket, isn't it? It just sucks it into it. But then when he brings it down to his feet, he's pretty average with his feet. So he needs that sort of space. As a holding midfielder with all the game in front of him and actually quite a bit of space all around him, he doesn't look half bad. And in the few games we've seen this season, if he's going to be kept there, I haven't got an issue with it. I ain't got an issue with it. He's going to be deployed in that sort of role. The issue I have is when he's played as a number 10 or you lumping balls up to him. But what we are seeing with United at the moment is we are putting balls into the box, and he also gives us an enormous span. Pogba's massive, Zlatan's massive, but he's pretty big as well. So, and what we're seeing is Zlatan gets on the end of crosses, doesn't he? The one that Pogba flicked up, Mata headed on, and then Zlatan tried like some overhead fucking reverse mad scissor kick. Was very close to getting on, wasn't it? Very close to getting on. And obviously his goal rises above, gets above everyone, nods it down. Zlatan's been absolutely mint so far, hasn't he? I'm happy for strikers to be relatively out of the game, as long as when it comes their turn and they get a chance, they take it. And he's taking his chances. He's scoring goals. We're scoring goals. We look like we're going to score goals from midfield. We look like we're able to break relatively quickly. I think Rooney needs to find the right space for him inside this team, because I think as a number 10, similar to Fellaini but not quite to the same extent, he's not really got that speed. I think as a number 10 you've got to be creating chances, and the one thing that stuck out to me from Friday, from where our view is, obviously you see quite a lot of the pitch, there was a break that we made, and Marshall, Zlatan, Pogba and Valencia were all part of the attack. And I looked to see where Rooney is, because in my head I'm going, your number 10 is meant to be at the heart of these attacks. He's meant to either play the final ball, get the move going, or put some sort of finishing touch on what's going on here. Rooney was on our D as we crossed into the final third. And I was like, that's not good enough. Mata was running behind, but he was in the chase for it. He was probably around the halfway line as they entered the final third. So Mata was in chase, but obviously his pace had let him down. And I think there's too many players, Fellaini included in that in all honesty as well, despite him playing well. There's just too many players at the heart of the team for us to be a counter-attacking side that don't have the pace. And I can see us when we come up against City, because that's a game massive on the horizon, absolutely massive. That's a game where we need pacey outlets. And I think Mata will be the one that suffers. I think he'll play Rooney for his leadership and his grit, and he'll probably drop a little bit further, maybe almost into a midfield three with Fellaini and Pogba, even though he said that he won't do that. I think that's the sort of average position that you might see Rooney take up and help protect, because City will pack the midfield, with the fucking wing backs and all the rest of that shit coming into there. So I think you might see Rooney almost drop into like a number 8 instead of being a number 10, alongside Pogba with Fellaini sitting behind. And I think you might see Lingard on the right hand side as an outlet, with Marshall on the other side, and obviously Zlatan up front. And we're putting a lot of first time crosses into the box, and Zlatan has got the ability to get on the end of stuff. And if he's getting on the end of stuff and there's enough crosses coming into the box, you're gonna have chances, you're gonna score goals. And that's the one difference I see from United at the moment. Defensively we look similar, to be honest. I don't think we look better or worse. I think from a midfield point of view there's a bit more structure to the midfield in front of the defence. Apart from that, going forward, it's just that we are more direct in the final third, and it's mostly crosses aiming for the header Zlatan, who's able to get on the end of it. And I think that is going to be so key for us this season. Where's he going to end up in terms of goals? He's getting 20, innit? He's definitely getting 20. He's absolutely definitely getting 20. Will he get 30? If he gets 30, he's going to silence a fucking hell of a lot of people, isn't he? Let's have a look. Another couple of things in the paper. Reading it on the go. We've got Phil Jones as a shock target for Mark Hughes and Stoke. The Potters would prefer a loan move, it reckons. I could see that one going. And Moisey, Arca's delight with David. They got beat again today, I think, didn't they? So maybe it's not too much delight there. And is there any more? Joe Hart looking like he's on the exit outside at City. Got nothing to say on that. I don't really care. Kell Brooks out to chalk up a win against Golovkin. Don't think he's going to do that, and I am a big fan of Kell Brooks. And that's really about it. There's a lot of Olympic stuff. I'm absolutely bombed, me, from last night. Just feel like I've got a fucking flu. What's tomorrow? Monday. And Monday is... Can't see my schedule because it's on my phone. Don't know, but there's a definite youth review coming out this week, I promise you, and hopefully a manager game. Probably not a FIFA game though, as well as a transfer talk. Is that the last transfer talk in the window? What's the date today? It probably won't be. I think the window ends on Monday or Tuesday, doesn't it? So it probably won't be the final transfer talk of the window. We'll have another couple, I think. But off to Old Trafford first thing in the morning to record the transfer review, so make sure you check that out. And please like. Please subscribe. And oh yeah, we were going to give away a Pogba shirt when we forgot to 20,000. We didn't get there. We're on about 19,300 as it stands. Fucking cracking effort. I am going to think of something special to do for when I hit 50k on Twitter, because that seems to be coming up pretty fast. My subscribers, followers on Twitter are going up really quick, and subscribers on here are going up pretty damn quick as well. Soon be 20,000, which I think is phenomenal. I said 20k by Christmas was the target. We've smashed that by 4 months. Well, provided that I don't just stop getting subscribers, which I shouldn't do. I don't know where this ends up. We're just seeing. So, thank you to everybody who subscribed. Thank you to everyone who tunes in. And I think we'll call it a day there, won't we? So, yeah, get anything you want in the comments. Do you agree with me with what I'm saying about the BBC? Do you think that there's got to be some sort of national corporation that takes responsibility for showing these sports, especially the more underground sports? Maybe not the fucking horse dancing one. I don't know what all that one's about. But there's a lot of athletes, especially the athletic type athletes, that shows them. Let's get the story going for them. Let's get to know these people. Let's make stars out of them. It gives everyone a big buzz in the nation and gets behind them. Let's not just pretend we give a fuck for 2 months every 4 years. Let's actually give a fuck all year round, and you might start to see some amazing results for it. The Americans really go to town on it, and I think a lot of that's to do with their collegiate system and the way that's set up. We don't have that sort of system. but we can introduce our own sort of thing. There's more than one way to skin a cat, apparently. Never skinned a cat in my life, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.